This theme still gives me goosebumps to this day, man. If this plays during Avengers Doomsday, I'm gonna fucking bawl my eyes out. So the next video we're gonna be reacting to is the Avengers Doomsday Tobey Maguire announcement by Emergency Awesome. I've been watching Charlie's channel for years now, and that's why I kinda want to start reacting to his content more. I'm a huge comic book nerd, so his content is a lot more informative. That's where I get all my comic book and movie news from. So if you guys like his content, you should go check out his channel and subscribe to all that. This theme still gives me goosebumps to this day, man. If this plays during Avengers Doomsday, I'm gonna fucking bawl my eyes out. I remember watching No Way Home, and then the portal scene where he just popped out of it. Because Tobey Maguire is my favorite Spider-Man. I don't think there's ever gonna be any competition. Maybe until we get to see like a live-action Miles. But the theme, as soon as it played, man, I started crying my my eyes out. This theme.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. Couple really big Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars announcements in the past couple of days. Apparently, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is going to be filling in duty as the active Spider-Man in the plot because in the context of the story, Tom Holland's Peter Parker Spider-Man from the MCU will be busy in another adventure while the events of Doomsday are happening. And there was also an...
So does that mean like the events of Doomsday are gonna be in like a different place? You know, because the Fantastic Four came to the main 616 universe. There are other like Avengers teams. Where's Brand New Day gonna be taking place?
announcement about Sadie Sink's character.
I mean, it is scheduled to release before Doomsday, so maybe by the end of the movie there's like a multiverse or something happens where Tom Holland Spider-Man gets swapped out with Tobey Maguire's. So we'll see. If they're bringing Tobey back, are they gonna bring Andrew back?
In Avengers Secret Wars, being cast recently and confirmed by the Hollywood trades, throwing up a bunch of theories about who she's actually playing from the multiverse now. She's literally in the middle of finishing Spider-Man Brand New Day right now. We just got a whole bunch of first looks from her on the set, so we'll break it all down.
And it's just been revealed. I don't know if Charlie's gonna mention this later in the video, but she's been cast in Secret Wars. So if she's gonna show up in Brand New Day and Secret Wars, then I don't think she's gonna be like a lesser character. Maybe she's gonna be one of the multiverse versions of like Mayday Parker or something like that.
What is Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man doing in Avengers Doomsday, and why is Tom Holland's MCU Spider-Man so busy on some other adventure? What is he doing that he can't help the Avengers with the plot of the movie? We're literally about to get that first Avengers Doomsday teaser trailer, but honestly, I don't think that we would see any Tobey Maguire in that trailer. They would probably hold way back on that till much, much later trailers. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the videos. It's just getting started. They're still doing reshoots for Avengers Doomsday right now. That's why you're still hearing about Doomsday big reveals, but they're going to be filming Avengers Secret Wars starting in April next year. This is actually why we're starting to hear casting news with new characters that we haven't heard about before showing up in Secret Wars. There are some characters that we are expecting to survive Avengers Doomsday for plot reasons, obviously. Pretty easy to assume that Dr. Doom, Franklin Richards, some of the Fantastic Four characters, some of the X-Men, some of the new Avengers will survive into the events of Secret Wars. But because they are adapting a version of Jonathan Hickman's Time Runs Out as the lead-up to Secret Wars, even though it's going to be vastly different from the comics, the body count is going to be very, very high during Doomsday. But addressing the elephant-sized Spider-Man in the room, Tobey Maguire instead of Tom Holland's MCU Spider-Man in Avengers Doomsday. What is going on? This actually makes it sound like they're completely swerving on any kind of MCU Peter Parker, Spider-Man, Doctor Doom, Tony Stark.
I don't think they're swerving from it. Maybe they're waiting to like make it more impactful in Secret Wars than in Doomsday, you know?
MCU twist. There have been all these theories about their relationship through the next couple of Avengers movies because of MCU Spider-Man's relationship with Tony Stark, who he witnessed die right in front of his eyes.
Everywhere I go, I
See his face.
I just really miss him.
How the Russo's gonna handle the mask rip moment when he takes his mask off and everybody realizes that he looks just like their friend who died in the MCU during Avengers Endgame. Everybody just imagining the shock on MCU Peter Parker's face when he sees that. Now it kind of seems like we're not gonna get that moment during Avengers Doomsday, like they're just gonna completely swerve on that. Also, I think because they don't want to repeat the moment from the end of Avengers Infinity War.
Yeah, it is too soon for that to happen.
Where Spider-Man died. Like, they don't want to redo.
Spider-Man died in, like, Infinity War. Tony died in Endgame. So I think it's too early for him to have that kind of moment in, like, Doomsday, you know? I think it's going to hit way harder in, like, Secret Wars.
That moment. Now it definitely sounds like Tom Holland's MCU Spider-Man will survive into Avengers Secret Wars. Before, I think we just assumed that he would be in Secret Wars because it's so big. Why wouldn't you put Spider-Man in Secret Wars? Why wouldn't you put all the Spider-Men in Secret Wars? The only thing that's been said about his MCU Spider-Man during Avengers Doomsday is that Tobey Maguire is like the resident Spider-Man because you need to have a Spider-Man in Avengers Doomsday because of what's happening. MCU Peter Parker is going to be busy on another adventure and he just won't be available to actually help the Avengers deal with Doctor Doom and anything that's going on during that movie. Nobody has found out what he's actually doing that is keeping him busy, but presumably they'll set that up at the end of Spider-Man Brand New Day. It'll have something to do with the multiverse.
Exactly what I just said.
So that's going to be their last opportunity to tease really big multiverse storytelling in Doctor Doom in some kind of post-credit scene. So that movie's probably going to end with some sort of multiverse reveal, even if it's completely separated from what Tom Holland's MCU Spider-Man is going to be dealing with. Here's the other thing too, Tobey Maguire was only confirmed in Avengers Doomsday, not in Secret Wars. I really hope that he is still in Secret Wars. Like,
yeah, man, why would you bring him back only for Doomsday and then take him away for Secret Wars?
Do not kill him off during Avengers Doomsday. Based on reports, he apparently filmed enough scenes to make it more than just a quick cameo scene, so it sounds like it's at least on par with how big his role was during Spider-Man No Way Home. One of the other really relevant reasons to have Tobey Maguire of all the different Spider-Man you could have in Avengers Doomsday is because of what they're doing bringing the classic X-Men actors back as their characters, or different versions of their characters, but similar to their original characters. There's so much multiverse going on during the movie, bringing back the de facto classic X-Men, of course they would want Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man back as their modern but classic Spider-Man because his Spider-Man was getting started during that original X-Men movie era when those X-Men actors were taking off too. It was Fox and Sony, different studios, but both those franchises were taking off around the same time. They kind of go hand in hand. You might remember back in the day, originally Sony and Fox worked out a deal to cross over his, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine during the first Spider-Man movie, so they were going to say that their movies took place on the same Earth in the same universe.
That would have been pretty cool.
Everybody remembers that first X-Men movie with the deleted Spider-Man scene. That was something that was a little bit different, but already you were starting to see X-Men Spider-Man crossover that all the studios were trying to work out behind the scenes. So it just feels like the natural extension, if you're bringing back all those classic X-Men, to bring back classic Spider-Man, who is Tobey Maguire right now. When it actually comes to Sadie Sink's character, because she's in Spider-Man Brand New Day right now, like we're talking about a lot of Spider-Man news that just happened the past couple of days, being cast in Avengers Secret Wars almost seems like it confirms that she is a multiverse character. Secret Wars is such a multiverse movie. We literally just got a first look at her character on the set of Spider-Man Brand New Day in the middle of an action scene with Damage Control carting her off as if she's a metahuman or she has superpowers in some way. If you remember, back when she was first announced for the movie, there were all kinds of crazy theories about who she could be playing as this multiverse character. People actually wondered if she might be Mayday Parker, an older version of Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man's daughter, who also had power.
I don't know, though. I don't know. How are they going to explain her coming to the main 616 universe, though, if she's a multiverse character? I don't think Brand New Day is supposed to be like a big multiversal movie. Maybe it has some like elements sprinkled into it, but I don't know.
Powers. Supposedly, there were going to be some multiverse elements in Spider-Man Brand New Day. This new Avengers Secret Wars reveal of her being in the movie doesn't confirm that she's Mayday Parker, but it does imply that she's a much bigger character than we believed before this, when we all thought that she was going to be a Punisher-related character. Also, why would Damage Control be carting her off in such a hardcore way if she didn't have powers? So everybody let me know in the comments, who do you think she's actually playing, if she's going to be a bigger character during Avengers Secret Wars, and in Spider-Man Brand New Day there are also going to be some multiverse elements. Just feels like she's going to be a character from the multiverse now. And because it's a Spider-Man movie and her just bright red hair screams something connected to Spider-Man mythology, Spider-Man based character.
Yeah.
When it actually comes to that canceled crossover that Sony and Fox were going to do in Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire and Hugh Jackman,
I don't know. I just thought about this right now, but I think she's gonna have a storyline more related to or more connected to like the Peter Parker aspect than anything else. Maybe everybody's like overthinking it and maybe she's just an actual MJ, you know? Like the actual MJ. I don't know. I don't think it's gonna be as like she's gonna be like a
it was going to be for Tobey Maguire's first Spider-Man movie in 2002. So remember, this is after the original X-Men movies had been going for a little while, so they'd already become crazy popular. Hugh Jackman's Wolverine being one of the most popular X-Men to come out of that movie. He kind of took over their franchise eventually. There were a lot of jokes about that during Deadpool and Wolverine too. Very tongue-in-cheek.
Is what happens when a universe loses their anchor being. See how it decays from the inside?
This is what the whole anchor being bit, the joke, was meant to be about. The idea that when he died, the franchise died because the franchise relied on him so heavily because he became so popular in pop culture. So it's kind of like Kevin Feige and the Marvel people winking at that, like, oh, your big star died, well, your franchise is dead now too. Normally you hear all these stories about how lawyers between Marvel, Fox, Sony ruin all the really cool crossover ideas. You remember the famous deleted Iron Man post-credit scene where Nick Fury, amongst other things, mentions Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. He talks about the spider bite because Kevin Feige, when they were making that first Iron Man movie, wanted to eventually include Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man in the Avengers film. It was just hoping that at some point they would be able to work out a deal with Sony. Well, we all saw what eventually wound up happening. He was not able to work out that deal, so naturally they had to remove that post-credit scene before they released the movie. But beyond belief, years before that, when they were making the first Spider-Man movie at Sony and they'd already cast Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, Sony had worked out a deal with Fox to cross over Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, and he would just show up in New York City and cross over, have a scene with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man on the street. Hugh Jackman is the person that revealed this, and the crazy reason he said that they had to cancel the crossover is because they absolutely would not do it without Hugh Jackman being in his black X-Men suit, like the leather black suits that they wear.
I don't know why they like this suit so much. For me, I don't know. I think there's better like comic book suits than the black ones, you know?
Movies. And on the day, he was ready to go, but they couldn't get the suit to work. Like there was some malfunction with the suit, so they wouldn't do the crossover scene. For whatever reason, the producers working on all the different movies wouldn't do it without him being in the Wolverine X-Men suit. Doesn't that sound absolutely crazy? Like, why do you need him in the suit? Just walk around in his street clothes. They could still cross over. It'd still be crazy. Now it seems like the Russos are bringing him back in Avengers Doomsday for a bigger scene. Hopefully they can have him cross over with Hugh Jackman's Wolverine on screen. Even though it's not the same cameo scene that it would have been way back in 2002, it's similar to that, paying off.
It would still be pretty cool to see.
Off a deleted scene that they weren't able to do at the time. Marvel does this all the time, turning deleted scenes from previous movies into plot in future movies. Like, well, we couldn't do it back then, so why don't we try to do it in a different way, in a cooler way in the present day?
You save the good stuff for special occasions?
You also remember we're about to get that first Avengers Doomsday teaser trailer in the next couple of weeks. Of course, I will do all the videos for whatever footage they do wind up releasing, so be sure to enable alerts for my channel so you don't miss any of that, because it is going to be crazy. Currently, streets are saying that all we're really going to see in that first teaser trailer is just going to be a lot of Robert Downey Jr., Dr. Doom underneath the mask. I think they're making the right call of keeping him under the mask until the actual movie itself. Everybody click here to learn about that big Black Panther 3 announcement that just dropped, and click.
I think that's about it for Charlie's video. Everybody go like and subscribe to his channel if you like the comic book content, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.